Right, hello everybody and welcome to Matt Fryer Golf. So I'm down at Trafford Golf Centre today and I'm here with a first video in a series that's going to be called Matt's Masterclasses, where I'm going to give you nuggets of information that are going to help you to play some better golf this year. So it might be a tip for striking your irons better, it might be something that will help you putt better, it could be something that's going to help you chip better, but it'll be a series of tips going on throughout the year that will help you improve your golf in 2018. So today we're going to be starting off with striking our irons better. Now we're getting towards the end of winter, hopefully. It's still cold out here, got 4 jumpers on. The ground conditions aren't the best at the moment. Definitely here in England we find sometimes that the ground is a little bit wet, so what we see from that is our missed strikes are exposed a little bit more. And what we tend to see, and I see a lot of people coming through the door here for lessons with, is they'll have strikes where they're catching the ground too much, the fat ones where they're getting big divots early, or the ones where they're starting to lean back or lean too much excessively and actually starting to thin the golf ball. And there's a reason for this, and one of the reasons that we see this shot tend to happen, or these two types of bad shot tend to happen, is because when someone takes their setup, once they then make the backswing, what we see is a lot of people starting to sway in their backswing, so they're changing the low point of the arc. Now, if we see here from the face on camera, what I mean by the low point of the arc is something where if we imagine the golf swing as a circle, we're moving the golf club around our body in a circular motion. And as we take our setup and we place the club in behind the golf ball, we now are going to determine where our low point of the arc is going to be. And a great way to think of it is if you imagine the centre of your chest where your sternum is, or if you've got a jumper with a zip on it, it's going to be in the middle of your stance, and the low point is just slightly in front of that. Now, if I were to make a swing where I move back and I move more into my right hand side, what then happens is I'm changing the low point of my arc. So if I were to swing down and bottom out where I've now moved this new low point to be, it's going to be ground first, then I'll get this big divot one. Or I would figure it out in my mind and actually let my wrist start to extend early and flick and try and get back to the ball because I know that I've moved my low point, and start to hit a few thins. So a real simple drill for you, as you can see here on the mat, we've actually got crosses here on our mats. You can do this by putting an alignment stick down, a club in between your stance, and just leave it sort of 6 or 7 inches away from the golf ball so you're not going to catch it as you swing you. And what you want to do is firstly take your setup, so you've positioned your sternum over this cane or the cross or the club or whatever it is going to be. And then with like a 7 iron, 6 iron, 8 iron, whatever it may be, we're going to have the ball just in front, more towards the lead side of your stance, in front of this cross. Then what we're going to try and do, we're going to make some backswings where our main aim and our main focus for the backswing is trying to keep the centre now over this guideline that we've got. What we don't want to see is something where we're either excessively moving away towards the trail side of our setup, or we could have something where we actually move too much into the lead side, meaning I would have to reverse pivot and get back to the golf ball that way. So all we're going to do is make some practice swings to start with, where we swing up to the top of our backswing and stop. And what I can see here now is that I've centred, I've not moved dramatically either side of my guideline. So we're going to have a few more of those where we're up to the top and just feeling that we're centred. And then what we want to do as we start our downswing, just feel that we just shift slightly towards the lead side of it, just so more of the pressure's moving into that lead foot. Only a little shift, it's not a big one, it's just a slight shift where we move into our lead side and the sternum is just in front of this guideline that we've got down on the floor. And this should hopefully lead to some better strikes for you moving forwards. So again, just run through that quickly for you guys. You've got your guideline on the ground, where your sternum or the centre of your body is going to be placed over it. The ball's just slightly in front towards the lead side. We make a backswing where we try and keep our centre over this stick or the club down there, and then as we come through, we're just going to move slightly into the lead side, and and start to rip some away. So good setup, keeping that centred, make a backswing, stay centred, and through there. Very simple, easy tip for you guys. Try and stay more centred in the backswing and limit how much sway and movement we've got going from side to side. Nice and easy for you. Give it a go. Let me know in the comments down below if that helps you. Follow me on all my social media platforms and come and see me if you want any more help on this at Trafford Golf Centre. And I'll see you soon with more tips.